Until the top of the hour, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, listener caller line 260-356-2611. Returning back to my information on Jermaine, he'll be coming, and this is according to the Bible codes, he'll come in a UFO invasion. His advent, coming arrival is allowed. Its altitude involves a fleet, UFO armies. He will appear as Jesus, Savior of the world. His depiction of the Lord and Yahweh as resemblance of them is permitted. It's allowable by the Most High. His advent, his coming, his whole arrival is authorized. Of course, his appearance is fake and fraudulent, deceitful and phony, along with his designation and title. But it's to test the people. You know, how many people are going to buy into the lies of the last days? Or they're going to know that it's not the most, it's not Jesus Christ, it's not the Most High God returning to earth.
Sherry?
Yeah.
You have another caller when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead and put him on.
John, you're up.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, John.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great, thank you.
What can I help you with?
I just wanted to talk a minute to Sherry. I'm actually a friend of John from Indiana, who listens and calls on a regular basis, and I happen to know Mike, who is on the phone just recently.
Okay, great.
And gee, I hear myself. Maybe I had to turn that off and listen.
You getting a vibration?
You got to turn your radio off in the background.
On the radio.
You're going to have to turn your radio off in the background, or you're going to hear an echo. There's about a 2-minute delay.
Yeah. Okay. You can hear me all right.
Okay, you're fine. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'll tell you, I did have a question. I wondered if you'd run across a book called In the Land of Second Chances.
No.
And unfortunately, I don't know who the author is, and read that, and I just was curious at what you thought about it.
I have never heard of that. I've had a couple of emails this week, people asking me what I think of the book of Urantia.
Yes.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't either.
I'm going to have to go look at it just so I can give these people an answer.
Right, I use...
Somebody asked me, I thought for sure he was going to ask me about this Urantia book. I have no idea.
No.
Yeah.
I'll rely on you finding out about it.
I'm usually delving into all these ghastly sites, so everybody else doesn't have to.
Yes.
But
and for it, I did have a question on what I was raised, actually, I still am raised a Methodist, and I did have one thing to say. The two ministers in my past that had when I was young, that came in, that probably had the most positive impact on me. Both of them got into the ministry late in life, in their 40s, and they were both from what I think you'd call from conversion. One of them actually, his wife dragged him off to he was from Scotland, to Billy Sunday had gone there to, for, I guess they used to call them crusades.
Right.
And he heard him, and he ended up, and eventually he ended up becoming a Methodist minister. Immigrated to the United States and ended up in Chesterton, Indiana. But the other one was a successful businessman, and he also had, I guess you'd call it, a conversion experience. He never really discussed that. He just said he felt the call when he was in his 40s.
Right.
And went in, and I would hope that these people would be among the people that spread the true word.
Well, you know what? Are you being fed?
The Bible.
Are they preaching the truth of the Bible and what Jesus taught? So many don't.
Yeah,
so many are preaching this feel-good theology. where all you have to do is say this 30-second salvation prayer, and all of a sudden you have a free ride into eternity.
Yeah.
And that's feel-good theology.
I see. That's an interesting concept. I kind of like buzzwords like that for some reason.
Because you can remember them.
I even think I coined them, and of course I don't. But
I think Jude and Peter.
And I will tell you right now, I'm sure that by the time the cock crows 3 times, I will have used the expression feel-good theology as if it were my own.
Well, you can take it and you use it and preach it. Preach it to the masses, because you know what? There's so many people, so few people out here, preaching the truth, trying to wake everybody else up. Everybody has their own niche. You know, the Lord's leading so many people in so many different areas.
I firmly believe that.
You know, everybody's got their own little niche and their own calling. And all people have to do is stand up and do them. Stand up and do what they're going to do. And not worry about that it's not something grandiose or big or it's just something small. Don't worry about that.
Are you reaffirming the conclusion I finally had drilled in or came to, that when all of a sudden I stopped playing God, and as I put it, I quit being God, my life got easier. And started, every now and then I go and listen to my answering machine, kind of hoping I'm going to hear, John, this is God, I'm taking 2 weeks off, can you take over for me?
Yeah, you know.
You know, I never hear that.
He doesn't need us.
I figure it's back to the regular, I'm to be, you might say, the follower rather than...
Yeah, he doesn't need our help in running.
And it's a good thing, too.
You know, and everybody wants to play God and tell him what his word says and what it doesn't and what his truths are and what they aren't. And, you know, he doesn't need our, he wants us to be obedient to him. You know, that's all we have to do. If he gives you, a nickel's worth of calling and you're faithful with that, that's 100% obedience to him in his book. You've got 100% obedience written down, not that you had just something small or large, just that you were obedient and you were faithful. That's all that matters to him.
Well, it makes sense to me.
You know, and people that are in bigger positions and bigger callings have so much more to answer for. And, it'll be the small guys that come out way ahead.
Well, yes, as I've maintained, I was in the newspaper business for a good long time, community newspaper, and I used to be fascinated by how it was the ordinary people in town that really kept it going.
Yeah,
they were the people that they kept the institutions, they kept the Boy Scouts going, and they always answered the call when they got it.
Yeah, that's all he asked for, obedience.
And it still did. I also am amazed, having not been out of this country, but in America, how many people just simply do. They do things for themselves. They make and create things. And I think that's an amazing thing. And by creating things, they don't create it brand new. I wanted a sailboat. I built one in my basement. And that's what I call about
self-sufficiency is a lot different from visualizing things into existence.
Yeah. And, so I'm one that thinks that, of course you have to ask for help. Of course you have to, but you learn to cooperate rather than coerce. That's the way I kind of spell it out. I think I've talked enough to you. I've heard about your program. This is the first time I listened to it. And you're doing what I think we all should do. And that is, you're not talking about, wouldn't it be nice to be on the radio? You created, this is what I mean by creating, using your creative spirit. You've created a show. You've created your radio.
Yeah, well,
my hat goes off to you or whatever.
Well, thanks a lot.
And
Thank you very much.
Yeah, take